Hi, I'm Colleen Derrick with Swaggers Insurance. Welcome to June Tap In, Pour Out, week number 3. Our 4 weeks in this mini course, we're covering locate a good source, tap in, start pumping, and spray wide. This week is start pumping. We covered locate a good source that we're focusing on quality and quantity, purity, potency, plentiful, because alliteration is fun and I like it. We spoke that it can affect our heart, our soul, our mind, and our strength. These are our pillars. And if we're not careful about balancing all 4 of them, we end up finding ourselves often strained or in trouble or exhausted because we're using the other 3 to compensate for the lacking in the 4th. We discussed what God had to say about these things and then how to really tap in to that good source and make the most of it rather than just having it sit there, that we need to put down lots of roots, drill down deep, and then remain. 3 keys to successful taproots were focus, commit, and establish. And then this week, we start in on pump it up. Don't just think about it. You have found a great quality renewal. You've tapped into it. Now get it flowing and absorb it. And be efficient. If you find yourself spending more energy tapping in and trying to get access to that than you're benefiting from it, then you have a problem that we need to really dig in and find out where's the disconnect. And that's where we would go back to last week and find out, have you put in good taproots? Have you really started to figure out how to get some momentum going on drawing it up and stay put with good access? Or have you started to drift away? I am terrible for that. I start getting renewed and then I wander off and I wonder why it's taking so much energy to try and pump up these resources. Because I have not been mindful of proximity. Get the goods. Don't waste what you're bringing in. So soak it in and put it to good use, right? So it's not enough just to start having it pump up if you're not actually getting it through to be useful, right? The second law of thermodynamics says that left to itself in an isolated system, that everything will default to inefficiency or chaos or decay. So participate. Don't let it just be an isolated system. You've got this great source and you've tapped into it. Don't let it sit there stagnant. Get it flowing, right? So 1, share. Don't just cling to it. 2, relax. Don't get all plugged up. Let things flow through and energize. Use it or lose it. Stream of living water. 3 steps towards using your good source. Phase 1 is obey. John 15:10-11 says, when you obey my commandments, you remain in my love. And just as I obey my Father's commandments and remain in his love, I've told you these things so that you will be filled with my joy. Yes, your joy will overflow. But what do we need to have that joy pumping up through us to overflowing? We need to obey. We need to remain in his love. We need to obey the Father's commandments. Phase number 2 is apply. In James chapter 1, verses 23-25, for if you listen to the word and don't obey it, it is like glancing at your face in a mirror. You see yourself and you walk away and forget what you look like. But if you look carefully into the perfect law that sets you free, and if you do what it says and don't forget what you heard, then God will bless you for doing it. I wear makeup occasionally. I am not great with mascara. And if I do not look into the mirror and check and make sure that the mascara stayed on my eyelashes, I look interesting. Sometimes a little clownish, sometimes a little gothic, sometimes just messy. But what if I looked in the mirror and saw that I had mascara down here that was all smudged around, and then just walked away anyway and didn't do anything about it. I have this great mirror that gave me feedback. I need to do something with that, right? That's what James is saying here, is we have this fantastic opportunity. Make the most of it. Phase number 3, 2 Timothy 3:16. All scripture is inspired by God, and it is useful. It is useful to teach us what is true and to make us realize what is wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong and teaches us to do what is right. We are no longer the same person after that interaction. It transforms us, much as with a withering plant. After our 31-degree weather, we water that and it perks right up, new life. It is transformed. Color starts to flow. It has new countenance. Intimacy invites and allows us to draw from the heart into our heart. It allows us to transform. And when we're tapping into and pouring out from God's heart, it transforms us because it is an intimate process. It invites us to take what He is providing and bring it into us to change the very nature of our being. When we look at how to apply these things, phase 1, obeying, what use is good instruction if you don't follow it? My target is to see the positive things flow through. So this will not happen if I stick to doing things the way I think is best. If I have 5 good sources of income and just grab from them however I want, are they going to deliver the steady net income I set up? No. I'm probably going to end up with possibly a huge tax issue, which will undermine the sustainability of my flow. I could end up with an OAS clawback, which just takes away some of my income stream. There is a method to this madness. There is a system to pouring out from a good place. We need to be wise in drawing down from that. And when we are obedient to what God tells us, when we are obedient to the plan that we have created or that the professionals have created for us, then it has value. If I have engaged a professional to help me with something and then I don't follow their instructions, they may be incredible and I may be flowing the information in, but if I am not applying that and pouring it out, it is wasted. Phase 2 is to apply, right? So obey and then apply. So I need to utilize this good stuff and not just let it sit there. So number 1, I need to obey their instructions, but number 2, I need to apply it. And these two are hand in hand, right? You can see how they're married together. My target is to get it and use it. I don't want to be stuck on a hamster wheel, just running on my water wheel as the water churns through. Stuck? No. I want to use that power. I want to convert it. I want to be able to utilize it, use it, have it again, be a part of a process that's invigorating, that's refreshing, that's renewing, that's generating. I'm going to use this classic example. I love this analogy. It is the FedEx driver. I had a FedEx driver stop by today. FedEx driver had this van full of great stuff. And I opened the door and said, "Hi, FedEx driver, thanks for coming." And now, if that had been the end of our interaction, would I have been happy? No. I want that FedEx driver to go into the good stuff they've got in their truck, and I want them to flow it through to me. I want to get my good stuff, right? And then I want to not take that box and just leave it in my entryway. Then the FedEx driver had flowed it through, and that's great, but now I've just got it sitting there. I need to unwrap that package. I need to unbundle that. I need to take my stuff out of the package, and then I need to use it. Otherwise, the whole process was for nothing. Phase 3 is transform. Let this shape and change. So my target here is to get momentum going and be ignited and inspired. If I am harnessing great, refreshing power, energy, finances, doesn't matter what, right? If I have access and I'm pouring that out, and if I'm not allowing it to alter me, renew me, inspire me, ignite me, again, why did I bother? So let's say I've got all of this great income streaming coming in, either during my working years or in retirement, and then I don't put it into my bank account and use it to pay my bills. Has it transformed my bank account? No. Do I have it? Yeah. Did I pour it through? Mm-hmm. And then what? It seems so silly when we put it this way, doesn't it? And yet when I take time to look at my life and the different areas of my life, heart, soul, mind, and strength, when I take a look at finances, taxation, my estate planning, I notice so often where I am having friction, where I'm feeling frustrated, just drained and exhausted. When I come back and I go through this process, I almost always very quickly and easily find a source of disruption in my supply chain. And it makes a world of difference, not just to me, but to others. Next week, we are going to talk about pouring it out. If we have not done a good job of these first 3 steps, we don't even get to this point, let alone have great success at it, let alone great impact. And last month, we talked about investing for impact. Impact, wow, gets me excited every time. Every time we talk about impact, it ignites my passion, my purpose. It's why I do what I do. It's why I help people with finance. It's why I coach people about what God says about it. Because so often they are not having impact. And we need to, and we can, and it's exciting. When you don't have impact, we start to feel isolated. And what COVID has shown us very much is that people that didn't already have this tap in and pour out well established for their social life and their emotional well-being and their mental well-being had a huge problem with isolation. We saw a staggering increase in drug abuse. We saw exponential explosion in suicide rates. Pollution kills about 9 to 16, depending on which statistics and what year I look at, people worldwide each year. COVID, somewhere they're estimating between 2 and 5 billion. When we all of a sudden take a look at what the historical suicide rates were, and now we see what they are after the isolation in COVID, they are starting to rival our historic numbers for primary killers in human beings worldwide. That's serious. That is heartbreaking. And we not only need to be keeping our own well-being good so that we are not a statistic, but we need to be doing better than that. We need to be getting to this point where we can pour out and impact others so that those around us, where at all possible, don't become a statistic. It matters. Finances matter. The statistics on finances and divorce rates and family disruption and suicide rates, they are correlated and they are interlinked. This matters. So please go back, review week 1, 2, and 3, and get excited, get solidly tapped in, and start thinking about how you can impact those around you. Because as we come out of this COVID crisis, as we come back to a rebuilding situation, our culture is not going to be the same as it was before. And we really can help those around us come into it with hope and enthusiasm and resources to flourish. I'll see you next week for Pour It Out.